To the war in Ukraine now. Western allies are getting restless as Ukrainian troops creep toward Russian-held territory. The Ukrainian counteroffensive began weeks ago, as you know, but it's been slow moving, to say the least. Troops have been focused on preserving resources, protecting their own men and women on the ground. Meanwhile, allies outside the war zone are worried about the threat of Russia's supporters. Just last week, China announced plans for a joint exercise with the Russian Navy, while new reports claim Iran may be restocking Russian forces with drones. Here to talk about the counteroffensive and the growing threats from Russia's allies is retired Lieutenant General William G. Boykin, who served 36 years in the Army and 4 years as the Deputy Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence. Lieutenant General, thanks for being with us.
Thank you. It's great to be with you.
You as well. I want to start with the fact that officials have acknowledged that this counteroffensive is not going as fast as they had hoped. How do you read that? Do you think that this could drag into another winter of fighting?
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that. I think that we will see this thing drag out longer. And this has been a surprise, I think, to the Ukrainians in terms of their inability to dislodge these Russians that are dug in the eastern part of Ukraine. And that alone probably means that this is going to go on for who knows how long, but certainly through this winter.
Yeah.
And probably into next spring.
Yeah, could be years. Who knows? U.S. officials have warned patience is key here. How do you think Ukraine's progress so far has compared to what Russia was able to accomplish in their original offensive?
Yeah, you know, that's a good question, because I don't think that anybody, maybe except for some of the Ukrainians themselves, thought that this would drag out more than a couple of weeks. You know, it was one of those where they expected to take over the country, government, and then install their own puppet ruler. And from that point on, that it would be relatively calm, and that has not been the case. In fact, this has been a war of miscalculations. I think the Russians miscalculated NATO, they miscalculated the European Union, and they certainly miscalculated the Ukrainians as well as their own people, and their showing has been abysmal. Their soldiers have literally been seen and known to be throwing down their weapons and walking back to safe zones, if you will.
Right.
And this has been an embarrassment for the Russians as a whole.
Yeah, and when you say NATO, you bring me to my next point. You know, we closely followed the NATO summit in Lithuania, and a couple weeks ago at that meeting, President Biden took to that lectern and he said, there's no way Putin wins this war in Ukraine. And then he went on to say he's already lost the war. Do you agree with him on that, sir?
Well, I do to an extent. I think that Putin has lost the war. Now, we're still fighting, and we're going to see that go on, as we've already said, for quite a while. But the fact that what was supposed to be or was touted to be a mighty military power has really been kicked around by the Ukrainians, who were expected to be a third-rate power. The part of what we're seeing here is we're seeing that the equalizer is a sense of unity in battle and a purpose, a sense of purpose. And that's what the Ukrainians have. They are fighting for their home. They're fighting for their existence. They're fighting for their future. And what are the Russians fighting for? Ask a Russian. They don't really know.
Yeah.
And that is a bad thing to go into battle when you don't have a sense of purpose.
Yeah, they're fighting for their future, even if the progress is sluggish there. Lieutenant General Boykin, thank you for your time, your perspective, and honor to have you on Morning in America today.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.